afternoon. I am Raquel Crawford. Today I will talk with Dr. Azay Gulliyev, who is a member of the Parliament of Azerbaijan and head of the delegation OSCE-PA. Welcome, Dr. Gulliyev.
Thank you for having me.
Dr. Gulliyev, after the last events in Karabakh, Azerbaijan gained full control over the region. Many Armenians who lived there are now migrating to Armenia. What are the reasons behind this? What is causing this fear?
Thank you very much. Thank you for invitation to your program to share my thoughts on such crucial developments that took place in our region for the last 2 weeks. I will be very concrete and precise in my answers. Yes, as you rightly mentioned, Azerbaijan recently has finally restored its sovereignty and jurisdiction in Karabakh Economic Region in full compliance with UN Charter and international law. To be more clear and specific, I would say that Azerbaijan recently was obliged to launch a very successful local counter-terror measures in order to disarm and to disband 10,000 strong illegal armed formation of the Republic of Armenia stationed in Karabakh for about 3 decades and managed to achieve its goal for less than 24 hours. Moreover, illegal puppet regime installed by Armenia in Karabakh as a result of 30 years of occupation also was dissolved as a result of these measures. I would say that it is really a tremendous achievement that separatist and the illegal regimes installed by Armenia in the sovereign territory of Azerbaijan fully collapsed, and Armenia's illegal armed forces had been finally disarmed and withdrawn from the area. I do believe that this historic accomplishment will serve as the best example and excellent experience to those countries who currently suffering from occupation, illegal military formation, and puppet regimes installed in their territories. As for your question concerning the Armenians who left, I would say temporarily Karabakh, I would like to mention the several reasons. First and foremost, I can reaffirm that during anti-terrorist measures, no civilian infrastructures were damaged and no Armenian residents were forced to leave Karabakh region by Azerbaijan authorities or by any institutions of Azerbaijan. These truths also have been publicly confirmed and proved by the testimonies of hundreds of hundreds of Armenian residents who have been interviewed by different interlocutors. And also Armenians really confirmed that, publicly confirmed that they hadn't been forced by Azerbaijan to leave for Armenia, and there was no inappropriate behavior from Azerbaijan's side. Also, it is commendable that this truth also was confirmed by international observation mission, I would say by independent international mission composed of UN institutions, particularly by UNHCR, UNICEF, World Health Organizations, etc., etc. They also confirmed that there was no use of force by Azerbaijani authorities against Armenian civilians. So we confidently can say that it was the personal decision of Karabakh Armenians who live for Armenia, despite, by the way, the solid reassurance and constant call upon them at the highest level, at the level of president and many other higher level officials to stay in Karabakh and to reintegrate into constitutional order with all the rights and responsibilities as equal as other citizens. But unfortunately, some of them decided to leave. But if you allow me, I will give some concrete examples or concrete case why those people have left our country, the region of Karabakh. According to my understanding, first category of people that decided to leave was the citizens of Russian Federation or other foreign countries. They decided to live and to keep their citizenship of different foreign countries. And the second category of people, I would say that they were with the separatist ideology who utterly and obviously rejected the jurisdiction of Azerbaijan on Karabakh region, and they simply rejected to be a part of multi-ethnic society of Azerbaijan. Of course, we cannot do anything in that regard but respect their choice. It is my personal opinion. However, I would say in the name of fairness, that significant part of Armenians who left the region for Armenia, there was also attempt, and a very serious attempt by the puppet regime installed in Karabakh by that time, and they really pushed them to withdraw, to leave the region. They advocate, they brought up unnecessary reasons that there is no, let's say, a reason to them to leave and to stay in Karabakh region of Azerbaijan. By the way, this fact also was confirmed by the public testimonies of Armenian residents that we have been witnessed throughout the media outlets and the social media. But also, I would say that the last point maybe make a sense to point out here that unfortunately, for the last 3 decades, Armenian government, without an exception, have been adhered to the view of that no Armenian can live under Azerbaijan jurisdiction, and Armenians and Azerbaijanis are ethnically incompatible. You know that the former president of Armenia, Kocharyan, made such statement even in the meeting of the Council of Europe a decade ago. So the Armenian society as well as Armenian residents in Karabakh have for, as I said, many years been inculcated with this concept, accompanied by dehumanization and demonization of Azerbaijan and Azerbaijanis. Of course, such anti-Azerbaijan propaganda pursued at the state level for decades has certainly led to deep-rooted hatred and mistrust.
We know that Azerbaijan has announced about the reintegration of Armenian residents of Karabakh. Could you briefly say what path will Azerbaijan take in the future for a peaceful coexistence?
Thank you for this important question. Yes, I would like to say that in the framework of reintegration activity, the government of Azerbaijan has already started a voluntary registration of Armenian residents currently living in Karabakh, as well as who left for Armenia. The registration is carried out electronically throughout create a special portal by the State Migration Service in order to ensure the maximum convenience and full access to information for applicants. By the way, we have unfortunately received some negative information that there were a case when some Armenian providers in Armenia tried to block the access of Karabakh Armenians in order to be registered and to reintegrate. So it is really very pity, and I hope that Armenian authority will not any further prevent the Armenians from being registered and they're coming back, returning back to their home and to becoming a full-fledged member of our society. I would also say that Azerbaijan government has also outlined the plans. It was publicly highlighted for reintegration and included specific measures designed to address security, municipal self-governance, socio-economic development, and of course, the ensuring the rights, in particular those related to education, culture, and religion. It should also be mentioned that after having announced and made it publicly to everyone we are receiving a number, I would say the significant number of applicants, and it is good that the Armenian residents already expressed their willingness and desire to return to live in Karabakh as Azerbaijan citizens. And of course, Azerbaijan government welcomes this initiative and will do its best in order to create enabling environment for their return in secure and dignified manner. By the way, Azerbaijan, as you know, many Azerbaijanis had been expelled in 1988 from the territory of Armenia, and they are also waiting for the day when they would be able to come back, to return to their place of origin. I do hope that Armenian government will create the same facilities and the same conditions for those Azerbaijanis. By the way, the number of those Azerbaijanis, more than 300,000, to come back and to enjoy their rights, to return their place of origin. And of course, I think it is one of the fundamental commitments of Armenia that it has undertaken for many years before the international community.
The third meeting of European Political Community in Granada, Spain, took place a few days ago, and it was supposed to organize peace talks mediated by EU, France, and Germany, but Azerbaijan did not participate in it. Why Azerbaijan declined this invitation?
Yes, thank you for this question also, but I would say that it was not Azerbaijan, but France who disrupted the meeting with its destructive statements, behavior, position that fully aggravated the situation on the ground. As a matter of fact, it should be mentioned that on 3rd of October, Foreign Minister of France, Madame Katerina Kalona, visited to Armenia, where she pledged to supply of weapons and ammunition to Armenia, and unfortunately baseless accused Azerbaijan for so-called ethnic cleansing. As I already mentioned, and they brought up different arguments that it was fully baseless and groundless accusation, and Azerbaijan has rejected this accusation at the highest level. This is why France, with such hostile behavior against Azerbaijan, cannot be genuine interlocutors or intermediators for peace talks in the region. It is obvious. I can't imagine that any, people, any person, any politician in Azerbaijan can even imagine any possible role for a country who open arms and weaponize the one side of the negotiation against another one. It is not only ridiculous, it is not only absurd, but it is also a big paradox. It cannot be a case when a country like France is taking such a role, on the other hand, making such a, I would say, a very harmful and poisonous statement. I would also say that such countries like France only brings hostility, ethnic hatred, divided lines, sorrow, and tragedy to the Caucasus region. We have seen many times how this type of actions and behavior really undermine and damaged already fragile peace talks in the region and fuel confrontation, as I say, the ethnic hatred in the region, and also send this wrong signal to those circles who live with their revanchist ideas and the desire to mislead them, unfortunately, to different way. And what we have seen now, it is one of the reasons that the countries like France really made such a big mistake. This is why Azerbaijan rightfully stated that it cannot be a part of any negotiation where France is taking part. France fully lost its, I would say, legal or moral right to be a genuine and, let's say, trustful mediator in peace talks.
Dr. Gulliyev, I would also like to ask you about the relationships between Germany and Azerbaijan. How do you assess the current level of cooperation between two countries and what needs to be done for further deepening?
Yes, as you know that Azerbaijan has always paying great importance and attention to the bilateral relationship between Germany and Azerbaijan, because we do consider that there is many reasons for both countries to cooperate in good faith and to beneficially benefit from our potential. Because as you may know that there are many German settlements in Azerbaijan. We really pay great attention and of course value the German culture, German heritage that we have in our territories. And also I would say that it was a good sign when President of Azerbaijan, Mr. Gulliyev, sent the congratulatory message or letter to the President of Germany, Mr. Steinmeier, on the occasion of the Day of Unification of Germany. And in this letter, President Aliyev rightly mentioned that Azerbaijan really very much interested in development of friendly relationships with Germany, particularly when it comes to the cooperation in the field, in the political, economic and humanitarian areas. It is very much important for us to keep this trend going on. And also, I think that there are also big potential to develop and expand our ties at both levels, parliaments and the governmental levels. And I think parliament in that way can bring that added values to our cooperation. And also, I would also mention that it is very high time to make sure that all sides at both the governments and the parliament to avoid from making or to refrain from making any inappropriate statements that could really undermine peace and reconciliation process in the region.
Now we reach the end. Thank you, Dr. Gulliyev, for the interview.
Thank you very much. Thank you.